You better give your girl some props in the comment section because it's not easy to get into the top law schools in Canada. It's not easy to get into that. So please, I got accepted into both of them. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your favorite girl here, Ella. I hope you are loving my green hair so far. I realized in a couple of videos back I didn't even talk about my hair, but I hope you are loving it because I am loving the green. Anyways, if you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Like I said, my name is Ella, and in this space I talk about everything legal content. I literally talk about my experience in my journey to become a lawyer here in Canada. And if that's something that you like, that's something you're interested in, that's a path you have taken, you're currently taking, or you want to take, or you know anyone who wants to take it, please be sure to join me on this journey by subscribing, giving me a huge thumbs up so YouTube knows that I'm doing something good, and so that we invite more people into this community. They can learn from us, we can learn from one another, and we'll grow together because I really, really want us to grow together. We've been doing this for 2 years. By we, I mean myself, who is a convener of this channel, and you who is a viewer and a community member. We've been doing this for 2 years and we haven't gotten to 1,000 subscribers yet, at least at the time of me shooting this video. So please be sure to subscribe and share this video with those who would find it really, really helpful and impactful and will engage with the content that we have on here. In my last video, I spoke about the NCA and what that is like for those who wish to become licensed to practice in Canada. And I told you all of different options that people can use in fulfilling their NCA competencies. I spoke about the option of writing exams. I spoke about the option of taking courses at the Canadian Law School, or the option of doing both, so writing the exams or opting to take courses. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the LLM route for NCA qualification for internationally trained lawyers. So this is for the second way of meeting your NCA requirements for those who choose to complete courses or actually get a whole master's degree and at the same time fulfill their NCA competencies. There's a couple of law schools in Canada that actually do offer this option to students. I'm going to be talking about the two popular ones out here in Toronto, and that is University of Toronto and Osgoode Hall Law School. Osgoode Hall Law School, I believe, is the oldest law school in Canada, and UofT, University of Toronto, is currently the best law school in the entire country, so the highest standard by all means. I'm going to be sharing you all the entire application process for what it looks like for people who want to get their LLM and at the same time have the opportunity to fulfill their NCA requirements simultaneously. I applied to both the University of Toronto Faculty of Law and Osgoode Hall Law School for the LLM programs. So UofT, I applied for the GPLLM, which is the Graduate Professional Masters of Law, and in the Canadian Common Law concentration, and I equally applied to the Professional Masters of Law, which is the LLM program at Osgoode, and both programs ideally are there to help you get your master's and at the same time satisfy your NCA requirements through taking the courses. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about both application pathways. I'll tell you all about the cost, the requirements for both universities, and how the entire application was like. But I'm not going to tell you which one I selected. You have to let me know what I look like. Do I look like an Osgoode Hall master student right now, or do I look like a UofT master student? If you know me and you know the answer, please don't give it out in the comment section. Tell me what you think. But yeah, now you know the part I took. I took the LLM route instead of writing the challenging exams. So we're going to first talk about the UofT's GPLLM program. A brief overview. For UofT, there are 3 different sessions to apply for. And there is a timeline for when you hear back from the school. This is something I really, really like, which means that if you submit your application this month, then this is the deadline to apply, and by this time we would have let you know whether you got in or you got out. Pretty simple, straight to the point. I really like that about the application process for UofT. The first round of application is usually due in November deadline. You get your decisions in December. So anyone who applied in November will know by December whether or not they are in or not in the GPLLM program. The second round is in February, and then the decisions are out by March. And then the third and final round is in May, and decisions are out in June. Now in 2025, I learned that there was another 4th round that they had I don't know when it was, but I know I heard that there was a fourth round. But typically, I know that UofT would usually have 3 rounds of applications and decisions for applicants. Now let's talk about the requirements. What is required of people who want to apply for the GPLLM? The GPLLM has 2 other concentrations. There is the business law, I believe, and then there's information technology, in addition to the Canadian common law. So, but if you want to go through with the NCA, the specific concentration you should be applying for is the Canadian common law concentration. Yes, not business law or information technology. Now, the requirements. Obviously, if you are choosing to go with the GPLLM for your NCA, you would have your law degree. You'll be about completing your law degree, or you would have finished your law degree. And then the good thing about this process is that there's no legal experience required whatsoever. And that's really, really great. What documents would you need? You would need 2 references. It could be academic or your employers. Preferably, I would say have 1 academic and 1 employer. You will need your CV, your resume, transcripts from your previous degrees, and a 1,000 words personal statement as to why you will be a good fit for the program, why you want to attend the program. Those are the things that you would need to provide. It costs $125. That's the application fee. And I started my application process in December 2024. That was when I opened my account and started seeing what I needed to provide and everything I needed around it, right? I applied in February, so through the second string, and I sent all my references before the February deadline. I made sure that my references also, when they received their link from UofT, completed my reference before the February deadline, because that was what would have shown that I applied for February in hopes of getting in March. And yes, my offer came in March of 2025. So yes, I got into the GPLLM program, which is one of the applications that I sent in, like I said, UofT and Osgoode. The positive aspect of the UofT application stream is that, number one, UofT is the best law school in Canada, and it has a very, very high global ranking compared to other law schools in the country. And UofT in general, compared to other universities in Canada, it's off the charts in terms of the world ranking as well. Also, it has a cheaper admission acceptance fee, so which costs $500. So obviously, once you get an offer, you have to pay the acceptance fee. You have a timeline to make your decision, and it costs $500, which was cheaper than what Osgoode was charging. It's also a program for professionals. So for example, you can work full-time while going to school on weekends, because typically your classes in the GPLLM program are usually weekends, so Friday evenings and then full day Saturdays and sometimes on Sunday. So if you have someone who's working a traditional full work week, you will be able to maintain your full-time job and at the same time do school. And it's every other weekend. So if you have class on week 1, in the weekend of week 1, you won't have in the weekend of week 2, then you have in the weekend of week 3, and you won't have in the weekend of week 4. So that's how it's structured. It's structured in a really nice way for professionals. You have networking opportunities through the GPLLM program. At the same time, you're fulfilling your master's requirements with the law school. You are also satisfying your NCA requirements by completing those courses, as opposed to having to study and sit in for challenging exams. You're meeting with professionals in the field, whoever is teaching you. You have networking events that you can go in and attend and meet people that you would traditionally not have met if you had opted to write and study for your NCA exams in itself. There is career and counseling help that is provided to students through the program. And students are called candidates. So candidates through the program. And like I said, it's a cheaper application fee from Osgoode, and there's no need to provide a written statement apart from your 1,000-word personal statement, plus, there's a cheaper acceptance fee. These are the positive aspects. The negative aspect, in my opinion, is UofT is extremely expensive. So if you're comparing the tuition that's in the $30,000 plus as opposed to Osgoode, which is in the 20-something thousand dollars, then that is the wide gap and the negative part of it, because it's really, really expensive. But hey, you're paying for the name, you're paying for the experience of what it comes with. And also, there is nowhere on the application for you to explain, for example, if you have any issues on your transcript, unlike with Osgoode. Don't worry, this will make sense when I'm talking about Osgoode in a couple of seconds, right? So yeah, so for example, in your transcripts, if you had a gap in education, or if you had a low grade, there's really no space for you to give an explanation of yourself, unless if you're putting it in your personal statement or something of that sort. But yeah, these are the 2 things I found negative with that application process. Other than that, the positives are really, really great in number, like I had listed before. Let's switch gears and talk about Osgoode, which is the oldest law school in Canada, very prestigious, side by side with York University. When I went to York University, I plowed through the route of Osgoode a lot of times, so I know where the campus is. I've been there before. Obviously, I studied in York University for 4 years. So, a brief overview. There is one open session for people to apply. So, November is when the applications open, and the deadline for everybody to apply is in May. Now, I don't know, they don't give a timeline of when you're supposed to hear back from them, which was really, really frustrating for me because, I applied really, really early in November and I didn't hear from them until March. I believe my Osgoode offer letter came after a week after UofT, and it was a lot because I was waiting November, December, January, February, March. I'm like 4 months Osgoode. Oh my God, I haven't heard from them, and I applied to UofT and I've already heard from them. But all in all, I got into the two universities. So you better give your girls some props in the comment section because it's not easy to get into some of the top law schools the top law schools in Canada. It's not easy to get into that. So please, I got accepted into both of them. Oh, basking in my own congratulations. Anyways, moving on. The requirements for Osgoode are as follows. Law degree, obviously for people who are going through this LLM for the professional Canadian common law, they will typically have their law degree from different jurisdictions. And you need 2 years of legal experience is required. It's required. Unlike UofT that doesn't require legal experience, Osgoode traditionally requires legal experience. And yeah, I did not have 2 full years of legal experience. I've worked for a lawyer before, but it wasn't up to 2 years. But I still threw in my application regardless. I attended a couple of Osgoode sessions that he had, talking about application process, what they might be looking for. I sent emails to say, I don't have 2 years experience, but I'm really, really interested in this program. Is it still worth trying and applying? And they said, yes, you can still apply if you want. We would look at, how great your extracurriculars are, the experience that you have, the strength of your reference letters, and your strengths in academia. So those were the things that they used, I believe, in grading me, since I did not have the 2 full years of legal experience. But hey, I still got in, which was really, really great. Now, the document required. 2 references, academic or employers, exactly like UofT. You need your CV, you will need transcripts from previous degrees, you will need 800 words of personal statements, letting them know why you'll be a good fit for the program, and why you want to attend the law school and attend the program. You will need 750 characters of further explanation. So this is where you can put in any other thing that you didn't have the space to write in your personal statement. And I mean 750 characters, meaning for every space you take in that box, it counts. So this is not 750 words, it's 750 characters. So if you have a gap in education or a gap in job, or you have one grade that is questionable, you want to explain what happened, you have that opportunity to write that out in there. And that was really, really great because UofT did not have something like that in their application system. And you will also finally need a writing sample. So for example, an essay or an article that you have written by yourself, you can send it to them. They would assess that these are the documents you would need. It costs $130 for the application fee, so just $5 more expensive than UofT. Like I said, I started the application in November of 2024. I attended a lot of Zoom sessions with Osgoode in October or November. I sent my resume for them to help me review because the staff were welcoming and they were able to review resumes for people who sent them. Like if you wanted to, it was like a free service, which I thought was really, really great. And yeah, my offer came on March of 2025. So a week after UofT's offer came. So the positive aspects of Osgoode Hall Law School for this LLM program, specifically for Canadian common law, is the tuition is cheaper than UofT, significantly cheaper than UofT. Google it at this point and then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. It's one of the best and oldest law school in Canada with a very good name. The program gets you a master's, and at the same time you're able to satisfy your NCA requirements. There's also good opportunities to network there, help with career counseling, and all of that is also available to students. The negative aspect for it is the admission acceptance fee was $1,000. So as opposed to UofT that cost $500, it's more expensive for the application fee by $5. If that makes a difference to you, you will need to provide a writing sample, unlike UofT where you do not need to provide a writing sample. So you have to spend more time on that application in terms of Osgoode, and then there's no definite timeline on when you hear back from them. So yeah, it looks, you don't know whether you hear back in May or in March or how many months they will use to review your application. That wasn't clearly stated on there. For both applications, something that you will definitely need in addition to the documents that you have is to provide personal statements. And I'm going to give you all some personal statement tips on here right now real quick. First, in your personal statement, you should ensure that you're writing why you are applying to the program. What's your primary objective? Why do you want to be in that program? Talk about yourself, your current position. Are you a student? Are you working? Where do you work? Where do you school? Why did you choose this specific university? For example, Osgoode is providing this, UofT is providing this, some other universities in Canada are providing this course. Why are you choosing this particular school and particular program? Have you attended some Zoom sessions with them? You can talk about that in your application. I spoke about mine. Mention what you hope to achieve while in the program, what you want to do with that degree, what you will be bringing to that program, because it's a professional degree to an extent. So you are expected to be a professional and you have to bring things to the table, with your peers. Highlight what your skills are, how you would help the program experience, how you would help yourself and help your peers. Talk about any legal experience that you have and how it translates to the program. So for example, if you've done pro bono mooting client interviewing like I've done, you can talk about that in your personal statement. Let it be very, very personable to you, the particular university and the particular program. So you have to understand what the school is like. Like, don't give to Osgoode what you're giving to UofT. They're two different schools, and when someone is reading your application, they would have a sense of that, right? You have to proofread everything, give it to family and friends, make sure that you're not making any grammatical error, you're not making any error at all before making your submission, because obviously you're supposed to pay attention to detail, and then answer all the questions that you were given. So if you have a guide on how to complete a personal statement, make sure that you're answering every single question that you're given. Yeah, this is everything that you need to know about the LLM routes to getting your NCA qualification and also getting a Master's of Law. I'll let you know what school I chose in the next video since I got accepted into both of them. Let me know what your guess is in the comment section. What else? Do I have anything to say? No, I don't think I have anything. I think I got everything in this video. So good luck to everyone who's applying. If you're applying, let me know in the comment section. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Like, share, turn your notification bell so you get notified whenever I post my videos. And I will catch you all in the next video where I burst and let you all know what school I am going to. Yes, I'm going to more school, as if 2 degrees is not enough. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.